What do you get when you throw a pandemic into an advanced society? The birthing of a pointless podcast. We are the neighbors upstairs. What's going on, guys? It's Lefty, neighbor on the left, here with you from the Neighbors Upstairs podcast with my friend, the neighbor on the right. It's just going to be him and I today. What's going on, Righty?
Hey, everybody. How you doing, Lefty?
I'm okay. I'm fine, but I'm a little bit worried because the World Health Organization is now telling me and you that this virus may never go away. What?
I mean, that does sound terrifying, but at the same time, though, there are realistically 100, okay, maybe not 100, but 5 or 10 ways that I can die every day. Yeah, look, it'll be here around us for a while. We got to learn to be better about our health, better about our immune system, but I don't think we need to get drowned in fear.
I hear that.
At the same time, though, I mean, should we just point blank 100% buy what the WHO is saying? I mean, isn't this the organization that said until January 14th that there is no human-to-human transmission? This is something they parroted based on China's input, which is kind of funny because Taiwan was saying on December 31st, by the way, there is human-to-human transmission, and Hong Kong was saying that on January 4th. Now imagine the WHO actually listened and showed some respect for Taiwan and Hong Kong. We would be in a different universe.
I really don't like this soundbite that they're giving us and feeding us. So this guy, I think his name is Ryan, I guess, from the WHO, and he basically says, I think it's important to put this on the table. This virus may become just another endemic virus in our communities, and this virus may never go away. Well, Ryan, I refuse to accept that bullshit. I really do. I refuse to. I don't like that attitude, first of all. It's kind of like, well, just get used to it. Sorry. It's what's happening is now they're basically trying to get us to get ready to accept the fact that this will never go away, right? Get ready to be okay with it. You know what? I'm saying I'm not okay with that. I do want them to figure out what's going on. I do want them to find a vaccine. This is not acceptable. This type of attitude.
Yeah, I hear that frustration, but at the same time, though, there is some truth in what they're saying in the sense that look at the flu, right? It doesn't completely disappear from our life, but we do have a pretty good handle on it, right? We also have a pretty good handle on how to, live as a healthy human being, how to protect your immune system, how to eat smarter. So I don't like it from the perspective of they're kind of trying to make it seem as if, oh, poor us humanity, we're going to have to deal with this. I mean, we also normally deal with a cold. Most people typically deal with some fever or flu or cold or something on a yearly basis at some point during the winter, even for only a couple of days. And viruses, there are over 100,000 viruses, or something along those lines.
And I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. All right. I'm okay. Like, we have no choice. This is the reality that we live in. But to basically just point blank tell everybody, like, this is just what it's going to be. We're going to have it from here on out. No. How about you tell us, hey, listen, we're forever going to be looking for a vaccine, and we are making strides. We are trying to do our best. We're not giving up. We're definitely not giving up. Instead of this, yeah, I mean, this is what it is, guys. This is just how we're going to be from here on out.
Definitely, that's not the best way to approach it. And again, I think more of public health should discuss and talk about how should we individually be improving our health and illuminating us on how many ways we can improve our health so that if we ever do catch a virus, it won't be the worst thing in the world. And I mean, just to correct myself, there are actually about 320,000 distinct viruses in mammals. This is actually courtesy of Lex Friedman on Twitter. Shout out to Lex. But so, there needs to be more of a focus on strategies and not just giving us bad news,
Agreed. This is just over. Stop being the bad news bears. We're looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. Don't feed me this nonsense where, we might be in a cave forever, so just be okay with it. Now, all right, make a fire. Okay, who? Make a fire and stop using your cell phone light. Because that cell phone, that battery will die. Let's try to find a fire that we can sustain. All right, who? Stop with this nonsense. Let's not have this, this naysayer mentality. So yeah, that's all I got to say about the WHO. Step up your shit. I was also looking at some news about Costco and how they're requiring their shoppers to wear masks. Righty, you're not going to believe this, but some shoppers are angry with this policy, stating that the masks are uncomfortable and that it is their freedom to deny Costco their request. Dude, what the fuck?
You don't own Costco. It is owned by Costco, private. And not only that, it ain't even free to shop there. You need an actual membership. So get with the program and understand, you got to show some respect, not just for everyone else, but for yourself, because no one wants to be someone who unwittingly, spreads or becomes a transmitter.
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole. Put on a mask. Why does this have to be even said? Why is this even a story? Like, why? We live in a time right now where to be an asshole is not what. What's up? I know you want
Yeah,
to say
no, you
something.
know what it is? I mean, some people are just bug catchers, they
They're bug catchers.
bug catchers. They want viruses. They want bugs. So it seems unfortunately there are some people who just subconsciously they're a little depressed and suicidal, and they're just doing behaviors that they know will hurt themselves. And sometimes they're so not caring about the fact that they're harming themselves that they think, if I harm someone along the way, it just makes it more interesting. I mean, but
That's
catchers
terrible.
is a term for gay guys actually who love to or who used to love to have sex with people who had HIV or AIDS, because unfortunately their perspective on themselves was so low that they wanted to dance with death.
So
They
you're
wanted to
saying that this
dance
is
with
probably what's
sickness and
happening right
disease.
now then. So you think this is something that's happening. We're living in
These
this
are people
parallel.
being bug catchers. Yeah.
I didn't even look at it that way. That's that's super sad. It really is sad. And I'm here to say, people that are going to Costco that don't want to put on a mask, stay home. All right. How about you order online?
Yeah, I mean, you got Instacart or many other ways to order your
You have
groceries and stuff.
Instacart, and Instacart is great. Get on Instacart, create yourself a little username and password, order whatever you need. You don't need to wear a mask. I promise you. Stay
Yeah, and
home.
make your password I hate masks. No worries.
That's it. And no one will ever guess. No one ever. It won't happen. Yeah, like again, these stories are insane. And I kind of wanted to go into a little bit of UFC 249 aftermath, the whole Tony Ferguson getting smashed debacle. Righty, I feel like you're way more into UFC than I am now. And that wasn't always the case. I feel like I kind of brought you into it. Maybe am I wrong in
No,
that?
for sure, for sure. I mean, shout out to you. One of my first, definitely. Maybe not my first, maybe my second live hip review that I watched with you. That was a fucking exciting one. It was 226, was it? Or 229?
I don't even
It
remember.
was
I don't
with
even know how you know
Khabib,
that or remember it.
McGregor, and actually Tony Ferguson was on there as well, fighting Anthony Pettis. There was
I remember that one. That was a good one.
yeah, it was a really good card.
That was a really good, and
And hell yeah,
that's an
Tony
exciting one to get
Ferguson's a
started on.
beast.
That
Yeah,
was that was a really exciting one
yeah,
to get started on, right?
yeah.
If you
Hell
were
yeah.
to ask me, hey, my boy here or my girlfriend, she wants to get into UFC, but like, which card should she start? That's the one I would recommend. The one that you started on.
Yeah, and I mean, you also don't need to, just start with a card. You can always just go watch classics because
I
there are
mean,
many great classics.
249 is a pretty good place to start. Tony
Hell
Ferguson
yeah.
getting smashed by Justin Gaethje. Whoa.
Whoa. Though I will say, Tony Ferguson did have a beautiful uppercut at the end of the second round. Nonetheless, yes, Gaethje was the smarter fighter. He was able to counter Tony, and Tony, it was almost as if his aggression kind of hurt him because he kind of played into going and being in Justin's striking range instead of being more defensive and trying to attack from the outside and
He
not
was
letting
he was being
himself get so
stubborn.
exposed.
He was being stubborn. He was basically saying like, okay, I could take this punch. Don't worry about it. Try doing it again. He was fighting that kind of fight, which was stupid. And I gotta say something. I don't think I've ever seen Justin Gaethje fight. That was my first fight watching him fight. I know you're looking at me like I'm out of my mind,
You
but
didn't. How about his last fight? Was his last fight against Cerrone? I think you didn't see that
no,
one.
I know I just didn't watch it. So to me, when I was watching with my dad was actually rooting for Justin Gaethje. he was rooting for Justin Gaethje. I don't even know why. I asked him if he watched Justin Gaethje before. He's like, no. He's like, I got a good vibe on this guy, and he loves Tony Ferguson, which was really a huge surprise to me. But here I was like, no, there's no way. Tony Ferguson, he's gonna take this. This is gonna be cake. This guy's crazy. He is crazy. He kicks metal just because. So just imagine to my surprise, Justin Gaethje going absolute Hulk on Tony Ferguson, and Tony Ferguson being so stubborn and just trying to fight a little bit smarter and perhaps defending more and not eating so many Gaethje smash punches. I mean,
Yeah.
what was up with that? And
It's also interesting that you mentioned that your dad was kind of rooting for Gaethje. Maybe I'm wrong, but I seem to kind of see the tendency where the way the betting plays out, whoever ends up being the underdog in close fight, the kind of general fans seem to gravitate towards almost always towards wanting the underdog to win.
you just
I
hit the
think
nail
I
on
think
the
that's a bit
head.
of an American thing
Very
too.
true. It's very true. My dad, he is a huge fan of the underdogs. That's just how he's always been. When it was McGregor versus Khabib, he was rooting for Khabib, and I know for a fact that he loved McGregor. During that fight, but he was really angry at the fact that McGregor was being cocky. He's like, no, nope, that's not good. I don't like it. You're being a piece of shit. You know what? I'm gonna root for the other guy because he's a lot more respectful. And usually that's kind of seen as underdog behavior, being more polite and kind of, I want to say, more humble. People aren't looking at you as a favorite; they're kind of looking at you as kind of like a throwaway opponent. And the person that's a lot more loud than in the room, you're usually looking at them as the person that is the favorite. So you hit the nail on the head there. He is a huge fan of the underdogs.
Yeah, and going back to Gaethje's performance, I mean, I heard him on an interview post fight, and I've heard him in interviews months ago as well. And just listening to his psyche and what it means to him being in that cage, and I mean, I'm just floored, and I
Oh,
have so much
when he
respect.
said that he blacked out, remember? She's like, "Do you remember anything?" Or was it? I think it was Joe Rogan. It was Joe Rogan that night, right? I think Joe Rogan asked him, "Can you talk to me about the fight?" It's like, listen, I was blacked out. I have to watch
Yeah,
it
I
again.
mean, because he literally talks about, really getting into the mindset of being ready to die in there. And when you really kind of get into that beautiful flow state where you're just completely giving yourself to into the moment, it becomes this transcendent psychedelic experience that it's not about remembering it to egoically boast about it in the future. It's just about being so focused and present and doing the best you
Being
can
in
in the
the
moment.
instinct, being
Yeah,
and living in the instinct.
yeah,
Shout out to Dragon Ball Super for anyone that watches or even cares. Yeah, man, he was basically Ultra Instinct. That's where he was living. I could totally see that. He was reacting. He was like
yeah. I mean, I think
everything
that
that
was one
Ferg
of the
threw
most
at him.
beautiful performances I've ever seen
I
by
mean,
a
I loved it.
UFC fighter.
I love and you know what? It's gonna be eventually Khabib versus Gaethje, and I want to say that because Khabib really is a great wrestler. Like I think probably one of the best the UFC has ever seen. His grappling, right? I mean, once he has his hooks on you, it's pretty much over. That's how Khabib is. He's not letting you go, and he wears you down. So what is Gaethje gonna do? Like, what's his game plan?
Right, but you're forgetting something. While you've never seen Gaethje
Is he a wrestler too?
wrestle, he was an
Oh,
All-American in college.
I did not know that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
he will be able
so
to bring him down a little bit.
while yes, Khabib is a monster when it comes to grappling, especially when it comes to pushing guys up against the cage and taking them down in that tight space. On the other hand, though, Gaethje is a strong lightweight. He is a really good wrestler. He has not done it because he hasn't needed it, and he kind of turned himself into a really good striker and
Yeah,
boxer. But
he has iron
he
fists.
has that ace card in his back pocket as being and having had and lived through the grind of becoming an all-American college wrestler.
So this is actually a good matchup then. He will
Hell
give
yes.
Khabib a run
Hell
for his
yes.
money. Okay, so I'm even more excited now because my whole thing was, well, I don't know if he has a wrestling background, and Khabib, say what you will, he is a winner, but he's also boring to watch, right? He grabs onto you, and that's basically it. So that's good. I want to see someone beat Khabib at his own game. And you know what? Maybe Gaethje is that guy.
Or perhaps it may be a fight where Khabib will try to do his usual ground and pound, but will struggle to get Gaethje down. That'll become more of a striking match, and then Gaethje beats him
Yeah, if it's a
through
striking
that route.
match, there's no way. Khabib does not match with Gaethje from what I've seen in that fight at all in striking. Righty, just kind of found out right now that Fred Willard has passed away.
Yeah, I I caught
R.I.P.
that while I was working out. It man, that guy, he always watching him, always would put a smile on my face.
He was America's
So much
boss.
fun.
He was America's boss. Remember him from Anchorman? I mean, he was wonderful in so many different things. He was in that movie Best in Show. That was pretty good. He's actually going to be in that show called Space Force.
There's a movie called Space Force.
No, it's a show.
TV
It's gonna be a TV show.
Based on The Office, right? Is that or related to it?
No, it's gonna be Steve Carell. And okay, so you know how we have a Space Force now.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, like they unfurl that flag. So yeah, it's basically a show about that. I'm not even kidding. It's a show about Space Force. It's not even like 2 or 3 years old. This new Space Force division or whatever, and we have a show about it already. And he's gonna be in it, Fred Willard. And you know what? I'm gonna watch it. I love that guy. I mean, he was also in Everybody Loves Raymond. He played, I think, Robert's father-in-law or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
He was
So
great.
how is he gonna be in Space Force?
They already shot it. So
they already shot it.
Yeah, it's 10 episodes. He's in it. His name, I'm looking on IMDb. His name is Fred Naird. I don't even know if I'm saying that last name right, but he's like one of those actors where you look at him, like you said, and you just smile because he's just so positive. From what we know, I don't know if he was a positive person in real life, but he just seemed like that positive, happy-go-lucky soul. And
Right, but you know what? Even if he wasn't always that way in his life, that off screen, and obviously he wasn't because he was human, so he experienced, I'm sure, sadness and depression. Regardless, he was that person exponentially. Every single person who's ever seen a TV show or a movie with him, and that counts really a lot too, I think.
I'm just looking. Yeah, I agree. I'm looking at his credits right now. He was in 50 Shades of Black, the parody to 50 Shades of Grey. Of course he was. That's the thing. Like, of course he was in that movie. That makes sense. That's such a Fred movie to be in, you know?
Yeah.
He was so funny. He was so funny. I mean, look at it. Just looking at it, like this guy, he was in amazingly, funny parody films. And again, it's a loss. I hope he didn't die because of COVID. That'd be sad. But thank you so much for all that you have given.
Oh, and by the way, he was a Virgo. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Virgo. What's his
September 18th.
All right. Fellow Virgos unite. But yeah, he was awesome.
Imagine we lived in the future voluntarily if we wanted.
Well, Alan Watts believes that there is no future. So I just wanted to put that out there for you, righty.
Cities where you lived with only fellow people who had your sign.
I would hate that. I don't want to be with Virgos. That's actually terrible.
No, but or you can go to any city of any other sign. So what other sign city would you prefer then, if not the Virgo city to live in?
I think I wouldn't mind hanging out with Virgos, but for like romantic situations, I'm getting the fuck out of there. I'm no crazy people. I think I'm probably going to like a Taurus, the city of Taurus, because they're kind of stubborn. I guess I kind of like, being sarcastic with stubborn people until they break, and then it's just funny for everyone. That's a good question. How about you?
I think I'd stay in the Virgo one.
Stay in the okay. Have you ever dated? And I'm sure.
Gemini.
You know what? By the way, I'm sure that people are listening to this and cringing. They're like, "Why in the fuck are they talking about horoscopes?" And I agree, horoscopes are bullshit, but they're fun. They're fun to talk about. Whatever. This is a thing. Yeah. They're around. They're around. You can't run away from it. They are around. So what were you saying?
Another great credit that Fred Willard
you didn't answer
has.
it. You didn't answer it. You got to answer it. Which city? You said Virgo, and is that like for all occasions?
I mean, that's what I would default to, but I'd be open to experiencing what differences may appear in the city of other horoscopes.
Well, which one? Which one are you like gravitating towards?
I don't even know the distinctions to know what to choose.
Of course. All right, give me some more Fred Willard
There's another
facts.
great credit. He was actually in the movie How High, which is a great
Oh
fucking
my
stoner comedy.
God. How high? Can we watch that together? I love that movie. I think that was the first
Hell yeah.
movie I watched with one of our friends that I'll tell you after this. And it was like that first movie I watched. It was during college years. Like I was 16, 17 years old. I remember
Long
seeing it before.
hair.
Long hair, you remember. And it was just perfect. It was perfect. Guys, you haven't seen How High, you watch that movie. It's hilarious and it's timeless.
Hopping backwards to UFC 249 for a minute. A couple of other fights to kind of reminisce about that. Bryce Mitchell dominance with grappling was one of the best non-submission grappling performances I think I've ever seen in a 3-round fight.
I'll be honest, I don't even remember the rest
How
of the
dare
card.
you?
I don't even remember because that the whole Tony Ferguson Justin Gaethje fight that
How about Ngannou Rosenstrike? No
oh
thoughts, memories from that
that was
fight.
crazy. Hold on. That was a crazy that was just a crazy surprise to me. It was such a shock moment because I actually thought Rosenstrike was gonna take it. I really did. And I mean on Twitter, I even said it there just to, and I will own up to that. I really thought that he had a shot. I thought Nagano, he's a good fighter. He's a great fighter, but Rosenstrike I felt was more powerful. But to be knocked out the way he got knocked out, it wasn't even.
You think
No,
Rosenstrike
no. Hold
is
on,
more
hold on.
powerful
I've never
than
seen them together.
Ngannou?
Hold on. You know what? Shut up, righty. Okay, I did not see them together in a ring. When they were together in the ring, I was like, no, but no, like the way he got knocked out was sad. It wasn't even like a straight punch. It was like a donkey punch.
It was just a little ding.
Yeah,
I
that's what
mean, that and
really
also
disappoints me.
Ngannou was all out lunging on the previous two punches, which missed by a couple of inches, and then that third one kind of
It's like a donkey.
almost looked as if it grazed him. It didn't even seem to be such a hard punch. And that's what's so freaky about Ngannou's power, because some of the times that he's knocked down guys like Junior Dos Santos or Cain Velasquez or over him, that one actually looked like a really great connection. But with Cain and Dos Santos and even Rosenstrike, they were not perfect and the hardest Ngannou punches, and yet they just knocked these guys down and out.
Disappointing, really disappointing. We have enough time to talk about one
Hey
more
man, maybe
thing.
John Jones is going up to fight Ngannou,
Well, yeah, I
so
saw
he
that
doesn't need to
tweet.
wait for DC
I
and
saw those series of
Stipe.
tweets. Yeah, I don't really have much faith in Nagano if it's Nagano versus John Jones. I feel like John Jones takes that. He's more athletic, I feel, and yeah, he's just more creative. I think
I think that kind of fight lends itself to if Ngannou can definitely knock out John Jones. He clearly has power.
he can, but like,
It's a
can he? Will he
matter of
catch him? That's the question.
so I think it's a matter of either Ngannou would probably, if he wins, he would probably get him within the first 1 or 2 rounds, and if not, John Jones will have been able to set the pace and just drag it to the third, fourth, and fifth round and win it that way.
I think he gets him with a rear naked choke. I think that's how John Jones finishes the fight. He just chokes him out. A nice submission. I don't know. That's what I think. But we do have time for just like 2 minutes for a quick topic. How about CNN calling Hornets Asian Hornets? What's going on with that? How do you feel about CNN calling Hornets Asian Hornets, and they are up in arms when Trumpy over there says that the coronavirus is the Asian virus. Like, how do you feel about
Or
that?
I mean, but though he only really says it to say
Well,
Chinese virus,
he
to say that
hasn't.
it's from
Well, he
China.
hasn't said it. He hasn't said it. He hasn't said it in a long time. But like, how do you feel about that? Like CNN, is that not a little hypocritical?
A little bit, yeah.
Well,
But they're
like,
even worse
what's going
because
on
they're
with
saying
that?
Asian, so it's all
Right.
the Asians' faults.
Right. They're saying Asian Hornets, right? I saw that. It really pissed me off. Do I think that calling
But
the coronavirus the Asian flu is right? No, but it's like, hey, CNN, how about you stay consistent? Just stay consistent. Call them Hornets. Call them Killer Hornets and just go with that, right?
though, let's give
You
a
guys look
shout
stupid.
out to the praying mantis and the way they say to these hornets, "Who are you?"
Yo, you
I
don't.
mean, they
Yeah,
just
praying
decapitate
mantis.
them, no problem. And then
That's
what's
what they
funny is
do.
below the hornets are the bees who the hornets decapitate, no problem.
True.
So it's all
Did
a
you watch that
chain, you
video
know?
though? there's a video of like a killer hornet going inside a beehive, and these beehives, they're just fucking scared. Okay, and you could see that they don't know what to do, and then all of a sudden though, all of a sudden they jump this killer hornet and
Yeah, I've
destroy
seen
him.
this.
You saw
Yeah,
that?
all their heat just goes all they all go on top of him until he kind of just they cook him with all their body heat
I
basically.
loved it. I
They
loved
fry
it.
him.
I feel like it's a great meme for when someone has a great idea and then groupthink destroys that great idea. And I'm not saying the killer hornet is a great idea, but I saw that. I was like, that's exactly what happens in meetings. You got like this really good idea, but everyone is already set in one way. Maybe just don't say anything. Or if you do, again, groupthink mentality just destroys that
Yeah, I
momentum you
mean
have.
that's the what the bees did, I guess, is cancel culture.
It's
You know,
it's
right?
canceled.
It's like the Hornet says some provocative thing, and then cancel cultures all these people
It's
one by
like
one,
it's like, hey,
jumping on
you
them.
are done. We don't condone your first name. We don't like that. It's pretty much over. All right, guys. I want to say that is a pretty cool way to end the episode. Neighbor on the right, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Hell yeah.
And I want to say, guys, if you enjoy these episodes, follow us, subscribe to us, let us know what you think. Go find us on Twitter. Go on our website, theneighborsupstairs.com. Find our social media. Again, follow us. Let us know what you think. And yeah, have a great one.
Later.